Hour 6.2 of Fan Service's 7-hour marathon of goodness and things. Today we have with us Mark Martinez.
Hi, I'm Mark Martinez with the Austin Horror Society. I also host Austin Horror here for Fanboy TV.
I'm also Pocky. I should name myself. With me right now is the writer-director of
Pod. I'm Mickey Keating. Thank you so much for having me.
We're happy to have you.
Can you tell us a little bit about this film?
Yeah, so basically it's about a family intervention that goes awry, and so it's a strange brother and sister who get a weird voicemail from their war vet brother who, basically says, I found something weird, you got to come up here. And when they show up to their isolated lake house, they find out that the whole place is ransacked, and he's convinced that he has caught a government creature in the basement. And so it's mostly a is he crazy, is he not crazy type escalating tension horror film.
Where did you come up with the concept of?
Well, I think at its core, like, I'm a really big fan of Rod Serling and the Twilight Zone, and so I'm a huge fan. I think The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street is like one of the finest stories ever written, and I also really like Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up, and so that's kind of like the base idea. But I'm also a huge fan of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, hence the title, and I love the scene. I think it's one of the best scenes in sci-fi where they find the pod person for the first time, and so that's kind of like the core ideas, but also the Mist, Richard Linklater's Tape, and William Peter Blatty's The Ninth Configuration. So a whole kind of mix of that kind of stuff.
So this movie seems to rely on more of the audience not seeing the monster. Is that coming also from?
If there even is one.
Well, okay. Seeing the thing, whatever
Right.
it is. But
Sure.
I'm saying whatever it is.
Definitely, yeah. I think I'm really obsessed with paranoia, and I think I like fear as like an entity, and so that's kind of like the base idea. And I really just love it's kind of just a movie about people who make bad decisions and spur of the moment, things, because we're all human and we all mess up a lot, and so that's kind of like the foundation of it, and it goes from there. But yes, a lot of paranoia, a lot of misdirection.
Yeah. For some of the stuff that has to go on in the film, there's for the actors, they have to go to some extremes there. Can you tell us a little bit about the casting of it?
Yes, of course. So it's basically a family drama with only 3 main characters, and one of the brothers obviously has to be crazy, but he can't be overwhelmingly insane. So what we kind of talked about was, it's like if Travis Bickle is caught up in like this conspiracy theory. And so when I first met our lead Brian, he was like, I get it, man. I think I love Taxi Driver. I'll shave my head. I'll pretend to pull my teeth out on camera. And we hadn't written that he'd shave his head into a mohawk in the script. And I was like, you do that on camera? And he's like, absolutely. So we have a whole shot of him just like cutting his head into a mohawk and everything like that. But yeah, it's there's a big central scene, kind of like 20 pages of dialogue, them going back and forth. We just shot it, and I'm a huge fan of Robert Altman, so I just let them kind of riff and do their own thing, and so it was a lot of them relying on each other to deliver the intensity.
Which is also really good for the actors, where you're giving them that space there to kind of do their own thing.
Right.
So.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're all very talented, so why not let them just take the script and run?
The movie also reminded me a little of Evil Dead, like the creatures or the thing. The house itself is sort of a character for you. It was filming for that, like it's like, okay, we got to do the angle right because you want to make the house feel like something correct.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I feel bad because one of my producers, it's his family's lake house, and it's a beautiful summer home, and we went in there and we just ransacked it. So it's like it's destroyed in the movie. But yeah, I mean, I love Evil Dead, and I love that kind of like it's a great location and a great like. There's a hopelessness about it because there was no one where we shot. You couldn't even find the place on Google Maps, and so it is in the middle of nowhere. I think that isolation really helps.
Growing up, were you a horror fan since you were a kid? And if so, what were some of the first films that you saw that really influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just a huge fan in general of film, but I think the thing that kind of molded my love for horror is watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, everyone melt at the end. So that kind of, and I watched it really young, so that kind of set the foundation. But, you know, I think growing up, I've always really, really been a fan of the Twilight Zone, like I said. So that, I think Rod Serling is just perfect, and that kind of shaped my attitude mostly towards writing.
Is this your first time in Austin?
Yes, it's my first film festival.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're really young. Have you gotten to do any of the Austin things yet?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think like this trip has just become about how much beer and how many movies I can see, and I've eaten a lot of barbecue so far. So yeah, I'm gonna ride that train until they kick me out or I overdose on brisket.
So do you have like a list of things that you want to do while you're in Austin?
Oh, definitely. I think, you know, I definitely want to see all the Midnighters. I'm seeing Deathgasm tonight, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, I want to just watch as many movies as possible, I think. I can come back and visit Austin whenever, but I'm really excited to ride the wave of the festival.
I was gonna say it was. This is also your first major film, right? This is your first, like, are they, or have you done before?
I did one more. I did one before this. It's called Ritual, and it's put out by Lionsgate and After Dark. But this is the first movie that I got. This is my second film, first movie I get to like tour with and really promote.
Yes. I can't. I have to see that movie now. I want to see.
Can you tell us about that first film?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I made it right out of college. We shot it on weekends. We made it for so little money that no one could quit their day job. So we shot it over 6 weekends, and basically it was it's kind of like a estranged wife or an estranged couple. Wife calls her ex-husband and says something bad happened in this flea bag motel. He shows up and finds out that there's a dead body, and as they start investigating, they find out that the guy that she killed is actually part of a satanic cult, and they decide to get the hell out of there, but he forgot his lighter in the room, so they have to go back, and satanic cult stuff ensues.
Here in Austin, we have a lot of filmmaking going on, and a lot of independent filmmaking. And I've got a chance to help out with some, and I've seen that making these independent films is really a labor of love. Mm-hmm. And you go through a lot of stuff trying to get your film made. Can you talk about when in making Pod some of the stuff that you had to go through?
Sure. Yeah, of course. We were pretty small. I mean, we off of the sale of Ritual, I was able to have more money, but it was still a kind of thing where every single day, one of the vans got caught in the snow. And in pre-production, actually, there were only 4 or 5 of us up there, and we had the big crew van, and it got stuck. The first day, no one could get it out, so we were smashing it with ice or with shovels. The ice around it, and I actually got a scar on my hand from smashing the ice around the wheels. But I mean, short of that, we were so far up in the middle of nowhere that we only kind of brought the bare essentials when it came to equipment. So I have some long Steadicam shots, and basically the whole driveway was ice. So if my Steadicam operator flipped and cracked anything, we were done. So there's definitely always that risk. So half of the crew had to sleep in the ransacked house every day. So I mean, it's just little stuff like that, but nothing tremendously taxing. But it's a 24-hour a day job all the time. So
you said you slept. Some of you slept in the house. Was that including you?
Yes.
And how was it to go? Okay, guys, can you not mess up that spot? That's where I sleep.
Oh, it was rough. Well, it was funny because the clip that we have released, they break in through one of the doors and find out just how crazy the brother is. And so Larry Fessenden, who's like, I interned for him, and he's like totally my mentor. And I called him up and I was like, can you come up and just have a small role in the film? He was like, sure, man. So he showed up, and we were like, here's your room. That's it. And so he had to sleep in like the whole, crazy room, as we called it.
How was that though? I mean, you filming in just one location. Do you feel that that's, as a director, like kind of both restrictive and like makes you make more creative?
Yeah, absolutely. What really excites me about independent film is just creativity thrives through limitation, I feel like. And so yeah, it was just an ability to, instead of having to worry about too many sets, we were just able to make every scene as effective as possible. So I think that helped a lot.
So if people here at South by Southwest want to check out your film, when can they check it out during the festival?
Monday night Tuesday night, or Thursday night, and they're all midnights. So.
And the Midnighters are great.
Yeah.
It is great crowds, great
Great crowd.
atmosphere, and we can't wait. And
I also, if people want to find out more about your projects, where can they go?
IMDb, or you can Twitter me at Mickey Keating.
So, guys, we're going to call it here. We got some more interviews coming up, but now some trailers that are fun.